In the studio, we welcome Kitty Waghorn. G'day, Kitty. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Steph.
Now, can you just remind me what your title is? Because I was tripping up on my tongue before.
I'm the Solid Waste Asset Manager.
Thank you very much. Yes, I was tripping up on that from the Waimakere District Council. Hey, it's really nice to see you in the studio. Now, Alert Level 1, of course, brings back quite a bit of normality for the Waimak districts for waste services. However, you've had a bit of a growing problem, which we're going to discuss around recycling across Canterbury. So it's not just an isolated area. I hear 3 truckloads of Waimakere's recycling had to be dumped at the landfill recently due to contamination, people putting non-recyclable items in their recycling bin, and it's the highest level of landfill recycled that the district has seen.
Yep.
So the council, of course, understandably, you're keen to stress the importance of recycling properly, so tons of material can be diverted from landfill. So that is really disappointing to hear that 3 truckloads of recycling ended up in the landfill. What happened to cause it? How did we get here?
I guess it's a mix of things. One was when the lockdown happened and there were some messages out there by a few councils saying to use your recycling bins as an extra rubbish bin.
Okay.
That message spread.
Oh.
And we have always said, and a few other neighbouring councils have always said, just keep using your recycling bins correctly so that when we can take our recycling to the plant, which was closed owing to COVID-19, when they're open again, we can start sending our recycling straight back there again and won't have to worry about contamination levels.
So is there quite a strict contamination threshold that you guys have to meet?
Yes, there is. Internationally, that threshold has dropped to 1 to 0.5% contamination, which is extremely strict. We usually run at about 5% contamination.
Wow.
Which is low.
Yeah.
New Zealand wide.
Jeepers creepers. So contaminated loads, of course, include perfectly recyclable materials. So I can imagine that's really disappointing to see. You know, you look at it and go, actually, there's, you know, a couple of things that are clean and, you know, they've taken the effort for that. But why did they leave the lids on the bottle? Or why did they not clean out the cat food can? So it must be really disappointing to see that.
It is very disappointing. And it's not just the dirty stuff in the topside, although that's always been an issue. It's the fact that people are throwing away rubbish in black bags. They're putting in soft plastics
into the recycling bin.
Vacuum cleaners.
What?
They're still putting nappies and clothes into recycling bins, and everyone knows that you can't recycle that stuff.
Can't recycle nappies.
No.
Can't recycle the clothing either too. I mean, if it's clean, and in good quality, donate your clothing to Salvation Army or drop it into the resale shop at Southbrook or the Hiranui District Council or your local council. If the clothing is okay, don't chuck it in your recycling bin. Take it because someone else could benefit from it if it's, you know, clean.
Yeah, we've got a range of charity shops around. I mean, St John's is just opening up soon.
Costs you nothing to drop it off. Now, Kitty, what are the council doing to help improve the success of our recycling scheme? So how are you guys helping us to try and combat this?
Okay, we're trying to get the message out there. We're using a range of media, stories in the newspapers, Facebook posts, stories online.
Spot checks?
And we have now that we're in level 1, we've started going through bins and doing spot checks of bins. What is happening there is anybody who does the right thing, they get a letter in the letterbox to say thanks for doing it right.
Excellent.
People that have got just a couple of things wrong, we leave the couple of things on their letterbox or on top of the bin after it's been emptied with a note to say, hey, these things can't be recycled.
Nice.
And anything that's really bad, the really dirty plastics or the lots of the
nappies and clothing and stuff.
The vacuum cleaners. We haven't had any dead ducks like they did in Invercargill, but food isn't a real issue. Anything with food in it, that is, and we leave a tag on the bin to say these are wrong. And we also follow up with a letter, and the bin doesn't get collected.
So, just staying on that, what happens when you find a bin with the wrong items in it? Like quite a lot. You mentioned that if majority of people, I guess, are doing okay, and you leave them a hey, big thumbs up, well done. What happens if you come across a bin that has a lot and it's kind of a repeat offender? What can you do? Can I ask that? What can you do in that situation?
We have a process involved and I guess it's called the 3 strikes process. We send a letter on the 2nd and 3rd probably contamination event, shall we say.
Yep.
And if a bin's contaminated 3 times in a year period, they will get a letter and say, we will remove the bin from your property. If it's a rental property, we also send a letter to the landlord. And so far, we haven't had to remove any bins.
Good. Yeah.
But it is getting to the point where if people are contaminating the bin on a regular basis, and as seems to be happening, we will remove the bins from the property. They won't get a refund on their rates.
Yeah.
But we won't be providing them with a recycling bin.
Now, putting the wrong items in the recycling bins risks the entire truckload. Silly question for you. How does the truck driver or yourselves, how do they know that your bin is contaminated? Like, is there a sensor when it goes in and they kind of go, actually, that's contaminated? How do you monitor that?
It's difficult for the truck driver, but they do have cameras on board.
Ah, right.
And they have a camera that points into the hopper so they can see anything really obvious as it falls in.
Nappies, clothing shouldn't be in there. Yep.
Sometimes you've got stuff that's sticking out the edge that you can say, well, that doesn't look right. So they'll get out and double check the bin before they collect it.
Yep.
Or if they know it's been contaminated before, they will get out and check it before they collect it.
They do a wonderful job. They really do, the truck drivers, on a daily basis. Big shout out to them.
Yeah.
Now, if people aren't sure what can go in the bins, what can they do?
They check the council website in the first instance. All the information's up there. We would normally say check the sticker on the lid of the bin,
lift
but
it up,
unfortunately we have changed what we can take recently to only 1, 2 and 5 plastics instead of 1 through to 7. We have got new stickers, so if people want to get new stickers for their bins, they're welcome to contact us or come in and pick one up.
And if in doubt, best to throw it out to limit the risk of contamination, because imagine if you chuck something in there like I'm trying not to throw my darling husband under the bus on this one. I always check the recycling bin and I'm standing there going, soft plastic can't go in there. And I'm thinking, what happens if he chucks that soft plastic in there and not aware of it? Could that small soft plastic mean that that bin for the rest of it is actually really good? But does that mean that I've now contaminated my recycling bin?
1 or 2 small items is probably not that bad.
Not ideal.
Not ideal, but
I'm sure my darling husband's listening.
Within that threshold of, our 5%, or we can get that out.
Sure.
And it gets taken out manually. It gets taken out by people.
It's a hassle for people, isn't it? So ideally, my darling husband needs to be listening, and bless him, little cotton socks. But just take 2 seconds. If in doubt, throw it out. Remember, 1, 2 and 5 plastics on the bin, same as at the curbside. Everything else is the same as beforehand. How long is this going to be for? Do we have a rough idea as to how long the 1, 2, 5 plastics is going to be in place? It's for the foreseeable future? Foreseeable future. Right, lovely.
And the reason is because 1, 2 and 5 plastics can all be recycled in New Zealand. We don't have to, if there's capacity, we don't necessarily have to send those overseas to be recycled.
If we can keep them here. Thank you so much. That's Kitty Waghorn, the Solid Waste Asset Manager. And overall, I think we're doing pretty well, but we could just pull our socks up just a wee bit. Do you think? Yeah. And keep on doing what we're doing, Canterbury and North Canterbury, by making sure it's clean when it goes in the bin, no lids, and it needs to be 1, 2 and 5. That's great. Thank you so much. We'll catch up with you another time.